If she leaves you for another, then travel to an isekai world and get another. This was said by Master Oogway. So here are 10 new isekai romance anime you must watch. Let's go. Number 10, I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. This was released last season, and even though the premise of it is similar to My Next Life as a Villainess, this stood out because of the way it executed some of its concepts. Here, instead of 4 guys, we got just 1 guy, and this time, the entire fate of the world is at stake. Oh, and the plot involves the Demon King too, just so you know. That makes it even more fun.
彼らとは随分仲がいいようだな。
仕事仲間と信頼関係を築くのは当然ですわ。
The show starts off with a regular premise where a girl is reincarnated as a princess and is fated to die in the final act of the game. Now, her only option is to charm the Demon King, aka the Crown Prince's half-brother, so he can finally get out of the curse. If you need an isekai with a cunning villainess, a charming prince, and a demon lord, then this is a show for you. Number 9, I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm-related skills.
私は王とメイギスの第一王女、ファルイース・メイギス。よろしくね。
王女？そんなお偉いお方が飲みのれに何の用ですか?
These days, any professional in an isekai world can be a lucky profession. To prove the point, we have a farmer. When you think this guy is a farmer, you think, meh, what can he do? Grow crops? But turns out that this guy is a first-rate cultivator who can cultivate better than any local farmer and grow his harem at the same time.
俺は農民だ。農民だ？農民ごときがどうやって俺の技を跳ね返した？
This guy's so skilled, the royalty decided to hire him. Now, with his true power awakened, now he needs to fight some evil guys. But unlike your local farmer, this guy won't be hitting them with the plow. He'll be using superpowers. This guy also gathers girls faster than he farms, so if you want another isekai where the girls swarm around the overpowered protagonist, make sure to give this a watch. Number 8, The Fruit of Evolution.
私、聖一のことが好き。だから、お嫁さんにしてください。
Remember Ari Ferretta, where a whole class got transported to another world? Shinka no Mi uses the same formula here. You can pretty much call this Ari Ferretta 2.0. You got the bullied kid, you got the mysterious thing that grants him his power, then he starts collecting girls at the same speed as every other overpowered isekai protagonist.
私以外誰にも邪魔させない。
いや、そういう問題じゃ。
大丈夫、すぐ終わる。
待っ。
In terms of originality, Shinka no Mi doesn't do anything new, but it does a really good job by following the existing tropes and adding new and cool elements to them. For example, the first episode involves a talking gorilla who instantly switches personalities. At least that's something new. Season 2 is coming this season, so now's the best time to binge watch the first. Number 7, Parallel World Pharmacy.
これどうやって止めるんだ。
We spoke about farmers, but now it's time to speak about pharmacists. Here we have one of the world's most genius researchers reincarnated in another world. What does he decide to do with his knowledge? Well, he started a pharmacy. Pretty much know what comes along with the pharmacy.
すごいすごい、薬師様の正門みたいです。
いや、これはリヒテンベルク図形といって落雷が皮膚を張った時のやけど。何拝んでるの？
The class struggle is portrayed really well in this anime. On one side, you have the nobility. On the other side, you have the poor people who are deprived of free healthcare. This guy decides to help both parties, irrespective of their class. Yeah, he's your good old white knight who always has the moral high ground. This has a lot of originality compared to other isekai, especially in the way it's presented in the usual isekai tropes, so I recommend you give this one a go. Number 6, Endo in Kobayashi Live, latest of to sundry villainess like Soletti.
今日と解説をすることにした遠藤くんと小林さん。
そうそう、飲み込みが早いね。
This isn't isekai, this is more about two people deciding to communicate with an isekai world. The main characters here are Prince Saegward and the Otomi villainess, Letty. At first, these two aren't in love, but when two students in our world decide to play a game, our main character hears their voices and realizes how beautiful the villainess is.
ツンが強いぞリーゼロって。
リーゼロってはツンデレですからね。
ツンデレとは
From the start of the show itself, you can see how different the premise is right off the bat. Usually, we have a girl from our world getting reincarnated in an Otomi game, but where there are people from our world playing the Otomi game while communicating with characters in the Otomi game. That's some four-dimension scientific breakthrough right there. But since this is an anime, it's always better to let logic fly out the window. Number 5, the executioner and her way of life.
で、わかった？もう一人の迷い人のこと。
もちろんグリザリカの王城にかくまわれてます。居場所もバッチリ把握済みです。
さすがね、偉いわ、モモ。
This has got to be one of the most misleading premises of all time. At first, this guy gets reincarnated into another world and meets a girl and he thinks, oh cool, she's gonna help me. And then the girl kills him and the real protagonist comes out in the second episode. Oh, and this is Yuri. Did I forget to mention that?
走るわよ、あかり。
どうするのメノちゃん。メノちゃん。
But damn, this show is good. It doesn't have any of the usual isekai tropes, and it knows how to grip your attention from the second episode onwards. The main struggle here is how the executioner falls in love with the person that he's supposed to be executing. So the show takes its time to build its characters up, and since we don't have the usual overpowered male and his harem, this feels much more original than many other isekai in this list itself. Number 4, trapped in the dating sim.
これがリオンさんの島ですか。
素敵な島じゃないか。
まだ開発中ですけどね。
すごいです。こんな綺麗な土地は見たことありません。
Isekai always repeats tropes, but Trapped in a Dating Sim knows how to make those tropes fun. Here we have the overpowered protagonist, the clash of nobility, the helping sidekick, and the two love interests of the character. The story starts off when the guy falls downstairs while playing an Otomi game and then gets reincarnated in that Otomi game. Hate it when that happens, don't you? But all he wants to do is live peacefully and a happy life as a background character. But turns out that isn't very easy.
別にいいと思いますけどね。復讐したい？大いに結構。ガンガンやっちゃいましょう。
復讐していいのか。
This is something I recommend in my Best Anime of 2022 video, so if you know how much I love this one, if you still haven't watched this, give that a go. Number 3, Miji Chokyo Renka.
大丈夫か？怪我は？
はい。大丈夫です。
見せたまえ。
This starts off pretty simple. The girl gets sent back in time to the Meiji period, and there she meets about 6 or 7 guys who are all influenced in her life in different ways. She also realizes society has accepted the existence of ghosts. Yep, it gets better. And she's someone who can see the ghost, and this drastically changes her relationship with the fellow guys.
貴様、玉よりか。見えるのか、もののけが。
If you didn't guess it by now, this is a reverse harem, which means there's one girl and many guys, and she has to choose one of them. Premise of the show tries to over-dramatize the scenario, but this is all about finding love while finding ghosts. This is a very different type of isekai, so if you're tired of the usual love stories, then give this one a go. Number 2, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom.
今をもって大意し、王位を召されし勇者相馬和也に譲る。
Time to dive into some politics, but in a good way. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt a Kingdom is about a boy who's reborn as a kingdom's ruler and now must understand how to defend his kingdom from the wars that are about to come. This involves learning politics, managing finances, getting a secretary that looks very similar to Saber, and then retiring with a bunch of girls by his side.
国宝売り払っちゃったの？国宝は国全体のものなのよ。それを勝手に売るなんて。
まあ落ち着けって。
国全体のものだって言うなら
You won't get any new and original characters here, but the entire anime revolves around the concept of kingdom building, which is pretty refreshing to see in the isekai genre. What's nice is how the anime sticks to its central theme of kingdom building and doesn't try to divert into any action fantasy shown with an overpowered main character. If you want to build your own kingdom someday, then learn from this guy. Number 1, are you ready? The Eminence in Shadow.
だから欠点ばかりでろくに美点のない平凡なあなたのことは嫌いじゃないわ。
ありがとう。僕には褒め言葉だ。
Eminence in Shadow is a lot of things. It's something that tries to combine a lot of elements at once and then tries to be bold enough to give our main character his army at the end of the first episode. But it also has one of the most misleading first episodes of all time. Stick with us here. The first episode is all about this weak high schooler who saves a damsel in distress, but from the second episode onward, you realize his isekai life is much better than his real life. And by that, I mean he's powerful as hell and he's got the girls.
その言葉に何の意味があるの？
何も。ただあるとすれば、自分が好きなものを他人に否定されると腹が立つ。
I think the main character in this one, who's carrying this entire show, Sid, is equally funny, cheerful, and overpowered all at the same time. He's also one of those people who's humble enough to hide his power so he can live in a peaceful high school life. But this is anime we're talking about. If peaceful high schooler life was ever a thing, more than half of the anime in this world would never exist. 2 thumbs up in our book.